So one of the next steps is to connect our two trucks, and then about 1/4 of an inch and maybe a little more than 1/4 of an inch in there, and 1/8 of an inch. As I've said before, fuel tanks can be all different sizes, and kind of usually it depends on the weight that locomotives are supposed to be on the rails, different weights of branch lines and stuff. But let's put the fuel tank in here and put the fuel filler and put in the fuel gauge there. Then why don't we put in the latches on the doors. Now these latches, there's a pattern to them, and by the time you keep doing these and keep doing these, you'll kind of start to pick up the pattern to them. But I suggest you just keep looking at at your photos of these so that you put the latches in the right places. Kind of go forward, forward, none, backward, forward, forward, none, backward. And why don't we do this step? Now, being a later engine, some of the last ones we've done recently, the steps didn't have white steps. BNSF obviously does, being a later, or being a current railroad. And here's the anti-climber. Put the plow on while we're here. And right at about 1/2 inch is the coupler. And the coupler lift bar. And do the back steps. A lot of times with steps, I a little bit eyeball them, but you want them to be as even as they can be. Just a little tiny piece. You don't have to put it in some of your first drawings. I have to admit, when I end up painting them, it gets a little complicated, putting so much detail into the step. In some of the first drawings I would just put the 4 steps in and just leave it at that. Okay, and then there's a door here. Another door here. These are about 1/4 of an inch. And there's the air conditioner off the top. This is why it's always good to have a pretty sharp pencil, especially right out at the get-go, because this air conditioner has little grills on it. And the grills are even on a white air conditioner, so they really kind of stand out. And the horns on the back, as it is on a lot of modern engines. And put the grab irons on. And put the handrails on. Now, as you've heard me say several times, the handrails are the part that, considering they seem like a very small detail, they take a little bit of concentration. This handrail, it goes, okay, the top one goes right at the cab height, and that goes diagonally down to right here. And there's the main one that takes the most concentration is the rear handrail. Okay. The back portion of it is 1/2 inch, and the middle portion of it is a little bit less than 3/4 inch. And then right behind the cab, it pops up. Then right on this door is where it angles up. And then there's a post here. A post here. A post here. What it is it's that you have to do all this spacing of these posts. And there's a post here, which getting all these posts spaced I always kind of start to where you'll just hear me now say, just leave well enough alone. Okay, and there's a post here, and a post here, and there's a post right about kind of start looking at it and saying, where are all these posts? There's a post here. There's a post here. There's a post here. This is why it's good to look at pictures. There we go. As I've said, when you start to erase a lot of this, it's never a great idea to do a lot of erasing once your drawing's done, because it erases through details and all this. And basically, there's the basic pencil lines of our BNSF SD40-2. So in the next step, we'll move on to lettering.